when the night falls and the winds get loud, and I can't see past the weight of the clouds, I remember who holds every tear. I take a breath and live without fear. Been through trials, fire and pain, but his promise cuts through the rain. I don't need to have all the control. I got peace that anchors my soul. I won't break, I won't run, my battle's already been won. He's my light, always near, that's how I live without fear. I won't fold, I won't hide, he's the strength I keep inside. Storm may come, I persevere, 'cause I live, yeah, I live without fear. People talk, they throw their stones, but grace reminds me I'm not alone. I don't need to prove a thing, I'm walking with the King of Kings. This world shakes and tries to shake me, but I stand firm, faith won't break me. Every shadow's got to disappear. When God is close, I live without fear. I won't break, I won't run, my battle's already been won. He's my light, always near, that's how I live without fear. I won't fold, I won't hide, he's the strength I keep inside. Storm may come, I persevere, 'cause I live, yeah, I live without fear. It's not about being perfect, it's about trusting the one who is. Even in the valley, he's still God. I won't break, I won't run, my battle's already been won. He's my guide, always near, that's why I live without fear. I won't fold, I won't hide, he's the truth I hold inside. Let the world know I'm still here, standing strong, living without fear. Faith over fear, always.
Praise God. Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Talcott Tuesday Chats with Jack. I'm so excited and inspired to get started today. Holy cows. So I'm going to consciously slow myself back down, right? So for those who are tuning in later and whatever, I don't know how to help people realize there's a 2-minute, 50-second opening, right? And I know when I watch videos, the opening, you know, when I don't watch them live, it's kind of annoying to me. But I keep listening to that song and the lyrics, the words of that opening song. When God is near, I live without fear, right? Trusting in the perfect one, giving it all to that one, right? Holy cows. I was moved to tears. I was. Again, the more I listened to that song, the more it just like, yes, this is the path. This is the way. These are the answers. You're in the right spot. You're in the right time. You, not just me. Thank you for joining today. Praise God indeed. Because this is what I'm knowing, man. Love will conquer all. Truly it will. You tell me. It's funny. This love without fear, for those who know the lore back with the Paul Unslaved and I filed for the trademark, I live without fear. And I got it. I got the process started, but I didn't do anything with it. So I ended up abandoning it. And I still get all these calls. I guess there's others interested in the trademark, love without fear. But I let it go. Because live without fear was the path I was on. It allowed me to learn how to love without fear. And brothers and sisters, I'm inspired today. Oh yeah, we'll address the difference. We'll get into everything. I got a lot of ideas I want to talk about, and I hope you can just settle in and just receive. We'll share, and my goal is to kind of tune in to the greater mind and memory that moves me and that I trust in. And I trust that we're going to bring some ideas forth. The purpose is so it's out in the open. The Jack Talcott live streams, we're going to make more of a conscious intention to bring more value. And if that means shorter panels, shorter times, well, that's what we'll do. It's really time. I've been preparing. We've all been preparing for something greater. And something greater is waiting for you. The thumbnail today, let's jump right into that. This Talcott Tuesday prayer. Consider this for yourself, man. Try it out. See how it feels inside. Dear God, today I woke up. I am healthy. I am alive. I am blessed. I apologize for all my complaining. I am truly grateful for all you have done in my life. And truly, I live in Jesus' name. It's why I live. And so do you. We just don't know what that means until you experience it for yourself. But I'm hoping to help, right? Because what I know the name of Jesus to symbolize, right? Because every name, here, there's a sharing opportunity. I'm not teaching, I'm sharing, okay? Sharing my perspectives. If you're willing to receive them and consider them for yourself, you can see what I mean. If you don't try it on for yourself, well, it's just an outside opinion that you may not understand. But if you consider what words are tools, and they're pointing at things. Like you say tree, you get an image of a tree. You get a concept of what is being pointed at with the word. But the word is not the reality. It's just pointing at the symbol. So it's a symbol, right? It represents the thing that it's describing. The word tree represents the thing, the tree, the plant that it's describing. I don't mean to speak like I'm speaking to children, yet these obvious things are so often overlooked. See, the reason I'm pointing out that words are just pointing at things, well, Jesus is a word, okay? Now, I feel in my heart that this timeline, it is intended that Jesus become an important word, a word of importance. Okay, but then it comes down to us, each individually. If you're aware of the word Jesus, what does that mean? Okay. Now, there's stories and words that are accredited to the man and to the beingness, right? So the man represented what? Perfected love. He followed God's will, not his own will. But if you put the two together, he followed the will of God. That means he gave his will to God's will. And he spoke that the commandments were that we would love one another as he loved those around him and those who accepted him and those who trusted him. Love even those who hate you, who want to see you fail, who want to see you hurt. Love those. Because here, it's in the description too, right? But back to, doggone it. I'm figuring this stuff out eventually. I'm getting better at this. It's my commitment. It's in the description as well. But personally, I view the word Jesus as a symbol of love. Okay? Now, personally, I found that love, it has no clear definition. It has no clear limits. and yet a choice to walk in the name of love, right? To walk in with the intention of representing love, it's an option that's always available for us to choose. Should God allow the idea to be found in the mind? Praise God indeed. In the background today, I'm having fun. It's a generated image, not a real image, of me and Donald Trump. Chats with Jack, live without fear. I think Donald Trump's got some fears to overcome. I'd like to help him. I'd like to help him become a more honest man. But back to what I've shared, right? There's always a choice to walk in the name of love. It's an option that's always available to be chosen by each of us. And we can help remind each other that love is an option. Okay? But only honesty can reveal the destination and path that your heart and your spirit, your soul, your spirit of emotions, your soul wants you to love your destiny and your path. I'm confident of this because I've been practicing it. Okay? I'm not just taking words from others and trying to repeat them. I've taken what I've been learning from others and I've incorporated into my being. And love is the way. Okay? And the only way to know love is to be humble, to be honest, to allow yourself to receive the love that's around you. Because if you deny the love around you, you'll feel cold and numb, and you won't feel the life that you've been given. And I'm speaking from experience, man. Hey, blessing to you all who are tuning in, right? Today, I hope I've got a few notes, right? And I mentioned previously the intention here is to kind of change the direction. Let's improve the quality together, right? Let's make sure that value is shared with those who might tune in later, because everyone's life is important. Everyone's time is important. And I want to be fun and yet bring some fulfillment, because our world it's so lacking in the eyes of so many. And yet in the eyes of others, it's like this glorious, amazing adventure to be discovered, imagined, created, all through you. That's what's happening. Whether you realize it or not, your life is being imagined, discovered, and created all through you. It's all an inside game. The battle is won and lost right here. Okay? The key is very simple yet challenging to the thing that controls in here, right? Your will, your belief systems, your willingness and want to be right. Your desire and habit to fight. I'm still breaking that one, man. And the one to be right. I recognized yesterday, I'm kind of rambling and bouncing around a little bit, but this is the Jack. I know. I hope you can accept me. I trust you can. Because, see, I hope to share some laughter in the world, man. And welcome, Noah, Arc Landscape. God bless. So yesterday after my stream, I forwarded the viewers who were here over to OTW News Live. And he had some fascinating conversations yesterday. I don't have the link pulled up or ready, but I spent time there, and it was fun and it was healthy. However, I raised my voice at a lady and others. I raised my voice to try to speak over, which was trying to impose my will onto others. And that's not the type of guy I want to be. I really don't. I want to be one who's trusted, who's respected, appreciated. Nobody appreciates someone who's yelling at you. Let's be honest. And yet, Do you find yourself really condemning and maybe yelling at yourself? I used to. God, I was so cruel to myself. I was in a mental prison, and my stubbornness wouldn't let me give up. Praise God. God is so glorious. God is so pure. God is so true. God is just miraculous and unbelievable. It's inconceivable that we live and live the way that we do. I want to remind you, in the here and now, Donald Trump is the commander in chief of the United States. And Putin and Zelensky they're living pretty wealthy and comfortable lives, but they've got men and women killing each other because those two can't have a fucking agreement. And then, do I even need to bring up what Netanyahu and his enablers are doing? Holy crap, man. Back to positivity. You know, I want to share a wake up call to the reality we're sharing, but let's breathe through it. We need more laughter in this world, and it is available. The laughter it's available to be found, because I am convinced, brothers and sisters, my friends, the creative force of life, the creative force that is behind our life, that sustains our life, I believe it has a divine sense of humor. Hilarious yet not funny, some of the stuff that's happening, and it's all based on perspective. So what are you going to find in your life? Can you laugh at yourself when you get angry? Can you laugh at yourself when you get afraid? It's easier to do than you think. The key is, just like the lyrics of the opening song, know that God is near. See, when God is near, there's no fear. There's no reason to fear. Because through your faith and trust, the answers will manifest. They'll emerge. It's like magic. I've experienced it over and over. No other witnesses see it, though, but I see a lot. Why? Because God has opened my mind, allowed my mind to open, right? I chose to learn. I chose to seek. So I think. But what I've really become convinced is that the messages of Jesus are true. Okay? You're here to love. And to love, that means you got to forgive the unforgivable sometimes. But if you're honest, sometimes you did stuff probably that you're lucky you got forgiven for too. That was my life. I did some stupid stuff. I didn't get caught for everything. Praise God and thank God. I mean, I've lived a blessed life, and I had no clue how much I had been protected. I had no clue how dangerous and how absolutely ignorant and stupid many of the things I did in my past were. I've made a commitment to myself and to the world. No more. No more of that, Jack. The new Jack is ready. I've been preparing myself for some great things, and I have faith great things are emerging. Jeeps, thank you for that reminder. I meant to mention this. Yeah, so what this is, when I went to the I don't have my badge, but when I went to the official event for the 250th anniversary of the Army and the Donald Trump parade, when I went there, there was a lot of grifters, salesmen, all sorts of Trump merchandise. Oh my gosh, and so many things for sale. Well, I attracted a bald dude with a robe on, with the Buddhist monk appearance, but and he was generous with beads and bracelets and cost me some money. So it's something I purchased. It's jade, I think, and if I remember right, there's good energies that are associated with the mineral jade. Um, so yeah, it's gemstones, and then I got like some beads too. So I didn't have to flash for them. No, it cost me fiat currency though. And so when the dude's like, he's saying no more. When I pulled out what I had, what I wanted to give, no more. I was like, I gave him a look. I was like, are you serious, man? Look how you're representing yourself. But I didn't need to argue, and I wasn't. I felt the opportunity to continue being generous and serving another human being. So I shared, and I received, some little cool trinkets. And if you go back, if for those who look, right, if you go on Facebook or Instagram, there's old photos of me, and I used to wear beads and jewelry, all sorts of cool things. I think I even went through some rings, but I lost so many things. So many things got taken and left behind. C'est la vie, that is our life, is it not? So, to the topics today, what is your solution? This question came up when I was considering how often we ask each other, what is your problem? What is your problem? What is my problem? And I don't really have any problems anymore, none that I really care about. I mean, I see lots and lots and lots of opportunities. And I see lots and lots of potentials that I'm hoping to, find a way to avoid. Life is amazing. That's the message I've learned, brothers and sisters. Life is pretty amazing. I want to discuss on these panels more often solutions, right? If you see me stumbling or failing, offer me a solution for improvement. If you have an issue that you've been hung up with, or you're willing to explore, what am I offering? Let's open it up. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link with that, actually, and we'll see where the day goes. I have extended a. I'm hoping to get some of the veterans who went through the process of detention at the Capitol building. I'd love to have some more continuing conversations about real life solutions here in the world that we share. And praise God. Our friend, more truth than roof. Welcome back, Illumitami.
My friend, then not any more my name than Station 33 was not my name. Now, did the Buddhist man make you sign the prayer book, Jack?
Peace book.
Yeah. It's kind of a jip, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you'd be happy to open that book and see that every previous person was told to write peace for their prayer. But that's not my prayer. And while he does ask for more money than you would want to give him, I was like, well, I should at least get to pray for my thing. But no, you got to write peace.
Do you oppose peace, or it's just not a priority?
It's not an option.
With God, there is no battle.
That's the only way there's peace is with God. That's why you don't know peace.
Well,
a person that knows peace wouldn't treat me the way they do.
Tommy, I can't deny that. You're right.
Good.
I've been learning though, okay? And I'm committed to doing better. Have you heard the opening
You've only
song?
Done work. No, it's AI garbage. It's bullshit.
but if you listen to the lyrics, one of the things that it says is, when God is near, there's nothing to fear. And that's what I was mentioning
Well,
earlier.
true people of God have nothing to fear but God. That's why I can't live without fear. Stop sharing irrelevant cultist chats. Are you having a chat with me, or are you playing little passive aggressive chat share games?
Well, I'd actually like to reinforce it. I agree. Tommy, it sounds like you could use like some honey tea or something. Um, golly jeez. Hey, Bear Jew, this, thank you. It is through the fear of God that we've created this dystopia. And it's not bad for many, but for many, it's like literally living in hell. Even worse, probably. But the fear of God is intended for you to wake up so you realize there's something greater than you that's involved with you, and it's up to you to figure it out. You don't overcome your fears until you find the answers. Hello, does that make sense to you? You can overcome your fears when you find your answers. Fears are just a part of your experience. And the key to overcoming fear is through your will, well, God's will, God's grace, your seeking, because only the answers you seek are the ones you're going to find. I'm confident of that. And yet, that's untrue as well. Praise God. Praise God. So, the key is the love of God. The love of God has been overlooked and misunderstood. Why? Because God loved the world so much, he sent his son to be punished and executed? What the fuck is that? That makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Hello, accept it. The world makes no sense until you align with God's will. And God's will is for you to love the truth, even if it hurts, even if you don't like it. So what? Grow up. Every single one of us on this world, we can do better. We can be better. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm the only one holding myself back from becoming better, more healthy, more active, more involved, whatever. I admit it. Every one of us can improve, but it's up to each of us to get it done, right? Much love to you, OTW Live. I was mentioning I had fun with you and the others on yesterday's stream. We had I felt some emotions were shared, but at the same time, there was some honest dialogue with many different people. We had Proper Instruction Motivates People. We had OTW Live, of course, as a host, and myself, and What's Up Cynthia, which is another creator online, and Tarek, and all sorts of characters, man. It was wild, and it was fun, and I'm grateful to be a part of this life, man, with you. I mentioned when I started up the stream that I had a lot of ideas and a lot of topics. One of my admitted downfalls, one of my flaws I realize, especially with this streaming, right, is I cover maybe too many topics. And I might be best able to serve a single topic if I just stay short, to the point, don't overwhelm. But the other argument to that is this is recorded, so you can always go back and double check and see what might have been missed. But with all the chaos too, we'll figure it out together. Praise God. What is my solution? I'm open, actually, for those who are willing. I'll pay attention to the chat, or you're welcome to join up. I'm welcome to ideas for what I can, for a solution for me to grow. Because here's something. Let me address this, and then I'll come back to me. Bearju, I agree. We all we can do is the next right thing, but I don't think people pay attention. Right? We get these plans and ideas of I'm doing the right thing later, and we're just putting off doing the right thing now. Or these are things I found in myself. Okay, so this is why I'm saying I pay attention to me, man. I really do pay attention. Um, Blessings and welcome to you, Vegas Valley Community Watch. That sounds pretty cool. And Tark, hey, beautiful. Is that you? I think it is. Welcome to you, my brother. Wow, you got shaved up or something. You look clean and good. How you
Oh,
feeling?
yeah. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm truly feeling blessed. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. Every day we try and then we come back and try again. So peace is available again.
That's the key. I don't want to rehash what happened yesterday completely, um, but it was a learning opportunity for us all. Okay,
It was.
so uh, I look forward to the peace being shared. I really do. I do.
Well, I want to
I
thank you, Jack. I want to thank you first because, like, you tried to make peace. First, I wasn't open for it. And because of you, I said, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Maybe Jack can make it happen. And I gave it a shot. I'm still open for peace, Cynthia, if you want it. Even though yesterday I declined it at the end after I left because I was kind of upset. And also, I want to thank also Paul. Paul also shed some light on it, and I want to appreciate him for saying what he has to say, and for OTW to have the open dialogue. I think OTW did a great job dealing with all kind of characters. I think he's pretty much fair for the most part. Besides that, I'll yield.
Hey, Tarek, I agree. So there you go, folks. If you missed it, go check out the stream. But I actually think this is what I was saying. My own opinion of it, there was healthy dialogue. There was emotions there. And I saw what I think you saw, Tarek, but oh wait, that reminds me I should do something here real quick. All right. Um, we got another guest, and I'm always willing to give it a try. Today's a new day, but the purpose is, right? Let's be productive. Welcome back,
Let's
King.
be civil. Let's be civil.
Yes.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Tarek. Hello.
King Stephen, salute. Hold on, let me give you a salute. God.
What's up, Tarek? You're not eating today. I didn't recognize you.
No, no food. No food. I made sure no noise. None of that.
I didn't recognize you. That's great.
Yeah, sometimes I try to look a little bit geeky.
Hey, I right before you guys started showing up, I was going to mention earlier in my day, part of my inspirations. I saw a wonderful. It's about a 10-minute video, so I'm not going to share it, but a video from Krishnamurti, for those who are familiar with him. And he has such a beautiful way of communicating and connecting with people, something that I hope to grow in myself. Along those lines, Tarek pointed out how well OTW ran the stream yesterday. I thought so as well. I've been learning
Yep.
and hoping to improve. But what Krishnamurti was talking about today is the question, are you sensitive? And to elaborate that thought, are you sensitive or are you numb?
I'm sensitive. I'm more sensitive than people realize. They think I'm numb, but I'm actually a very sensitive being. I'm an introvert, and I'm very sensitive. I'm I'm kind of like a big old teddy bear in a way.
I've noticed that about you. Except the teddy bear has fangs and knives sticking out of it. It's dangerous and sharp.
You think I have knives sticking out? You don't want to hug me like I'm a teddy bear, Jack?
Well, I see how reactive you are and how you're quick to lash out.
No, I'm not lashing out. I'm here for peace. I'm a man of peace.
I know, but you're distracting from the greater picture of who you are. See what you're
I'm all ears.
what you're saying. I believe you. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
a very sensitive man myself. Emotions were my downfall. Okay, but I numbed my emotions not through my will, but through the booze. Once I stopped drinking, holy shit, my mind started getting more clear. Then I started realizing how confused I had been.
Yeah.
And so once I started seeing that benefit, I wanted to overcome all of my confusion. And so
Mhm.
that's what I've been doing, is seeking out to learn. All right.
Well, Jack, okay, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Carry on.
There was, thank you, Stephen, because to land it finally, sorry, to finally land it, you've been given a gift. You have areas that you are numb, and this is kind of carrying that question out a little bit. We all like to believe that we're sensitive and caring and kind, but then we're not always. And so the question really that Krishnamurti went further into was pointing out, can you sense the suffering of others around you? Can you sense
Yes.
the suffering of others who are not around you, but who are in suffering?
Yes, I do talk about that a lot on my channel. I do feel for them. It keeps me up at night. I have insomnia, and often I'm thinking of the suffering in this realm beyond me. I mean, my life's pretty good. It's fairly easy. I don't have a lot of pain or suffering or diseases, but I feel for the ones that are suffering. I really do. It does bother me.
Stephen, I believe you. I really, truly do. So the question I have for you, are you willing to expand your faith? Because this is right actually in line with the topic today. What is the solution? You don't want to feel bad. None of us do. But the world has so much that can make you feel bad. I mean, give you plenty of reasons to feel bad. But the solution is, honestly, if you can accept it and entertain it, the solution to your lack of faith might be here with me. If you can imagine the opportunities that I keep trying to kind of talk about, peace can be achieved in this world as soon as people stop fighting, right? And Tarek,
Yeah.
that's for you and Cynthia as well, right? The
Oh,
peace is when you
did
stop
they
fighting.
achieve peace? Did they get peace? I missed it. I just
So
tuned in.
close, so close. It was so close, but it wasn't time yesterday. But
Okay.
it's going to happen because Tarek's still willing, and it'll happen if it's meant to, and if it's not, it won't. But I think we're damned if we
I
don't
agree.
try.
Jack,
Tarek,
if you remember from, go ahead, Stephen.
I was just going to ask you, Tarek, are you on the way to peace with Cynthia? And you two are not dating or anything, are you? What did I miss?
No,
Like,
we're definitely not dating. I don't think she wants to date me, and I don't want to date her. That's not the issue. But that was funny, King Stephen. Now back to Jack. Jack, if you remember, I'm still down for peace, and I'll tell you why. If you remember, I defended Cynthia on your channel when Paul was calling her, names and talking about her vagina and all that.
Right.
So
But
it's not like I never defended her.
let's not
right,
go into the vagina talk at this
right.
point.
Well,
But
I'm sorry, talking about her body parts. I'm
no,
just saying. I apologize.
Thank you. No worries. Thank you. Um, but here's the thing, though, Tarek, is something I found in myself. When we do what we feel is right and what is right by facts, it doesn't matter. Feel good about doing what is right. And if it's not witnessed, if it's not appreciated, if it's not even understood or accepted accurately, know that you did what was right and stand on what is true. Okay? Because you did. You stood up for
Yeah.
me against Snafu. You stood up for
Yeah.
Cynthia against Paul and others. And so, but here's another lesson.
Yeah.
Brother, here's another lesson for you that I've learned too. These battles aren't always ours. Okay?
Yeah.
So
It's
I have a
Satan's
question to ask
battle.
you and Steven. Because both of
Okay.
you are actually more patient than me. Like King Steven's very patient with hostility. He can still be calm. I can be calm as well, but at times I get a little triggered. And I seen Jack, you're very calm for a long time, and then sometimes you get triggered, but you're better than me at it. So with this battle that you see between me and Cynthia, for example, and you see like kind of the attacks and the manipulation from her team, for example, okay, because she's not by herself. How do you deal with it when you're trying to make peace and they're pointing you to be this person or saying things about you?
Compassion. Compassion is the only way. Okay? Compassion and honesty. So here's a couple of things I've learned, Tarek. As much as I never wanted to accept it because I felt righteous in my anger, I was wrong in yelling at people. It didn't accomplish anything. It just made me feel better. And it caused a lot of damage. Right? So, Tarek, thank you. I've actually appreciated you. You've been a good example too. And I agree with your views on Stephen. Um, we
I've
all,
never seen Tarek defend me, though. I'm sorry for jumping in, but I don't think Tarek's ever defended me. I'm not being hard on him, but you haven't
well,
defended me.
you
Have
haven't
you?
accepted either. And this is actually
I'm
where I
kidding.
was.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not worried about that.
No,
But
no, I have
yeah,
defended against Steven.
you know what my
I have
method is,
again.
Tarek, for staying
I'll tell you
calm.
when.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. No, I'll tell you
No,
when I
go. You go ahead.
defended you. I defended you one time. You're right. Defended you one time at Paul's, and they kicked me out of there. I said no, he's very bright,
Oh,
and the whole chat went against me, and Paul kicked me.
wow, Paul kicked you. Well, I want to tell you the secret, Tarek. My secret is not heroin or any drugs for staying calm. Or my secret is I just picture these people as naked clowns, and then I don't get angry. I just think, well, they're, like that secret when you're public speaking and you picture the audience naked. It works.
It can work, but it can also deceive because you can be surrounded by people who are wiser than you, and you'll think you're smarter than them.
I
I've
don't know if
witnessed.
that's ever been the case, though, Jack. If I've been surrounded by people wiser than me, that would be incredible.
Okay. Well, how about more honest?
I'm fairly honest. I think I'm an honest man.
Fairly,
I,
fairly.
I do.
I
Yeah.
agree with the fairly. However, we all have room for improvement, and I think
Hmm.
that's why you're here, Stephen. Seriously,
I
I don't
keep
go.
coming back.
I know, I know,
Yep.
and actually, that was what I was trying to. Golly geez, it's right in front of me. Holy shit.
I'm loyal. I'm loyal.
Well, what I tried pointing out to Tarek and Cynthia, I guess it's right in front of me as well. Um, the spirit. The three of our spirit brought us to click the link, right?
Hmm.
The other viewers at whatever time, their spirit guides them to the idea, and a choice is made to click the link. So there's a spirit that's greater than us that knows far more the reasons of why things happen. We got to stop assuming. We got to stop jumping to conclusions and thinking the worst of each other.
Yes, like the chat. They jump to conclusions about me and they think, oh, he's a bad guy. Steven's this. They really don't know me. I mean, I give a lot to people and charities. I try to help people. I really do.
I could believe that, but
That's Tarek's sound. He was flushing the toilet or something.
Sorry, I
in,
apologize.
in my experience, it's been different, Stephen. Okay, so
What? I've donated a couple times here, and I've been very helpful here and promoted you and your channel. And I'm not
oh
sure.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I've been trying my best, but I just don't like being kicked off mid sentence when I'm talking. And I know you're shrugging your shoulders, but it is disrespectful, Jack. I think we should have a civil conversation like we're having now. This is productive. This is good. I think this is healthy. Do you
You're
agree or
good.
disagree?
Yes and no. Let me
Okay.
address a couple of things, if I might, because
Okay.
let me point this out too, because today is documenting today. And despite I think the last time I looked, 350,000 views on the Don Lemon episode that I got to speak on.
Yeah,
Despite,
Scepter.
yeah, despite
Yes.
that event on Friday and the resulting, all the people talking about it on these panels and stuff, I've actually gone down in subscribers.
Yeah, I know. I see it.
That's odd, but YouTube, Jack, YouTube does interfere with subs.
Well,
YouTube itself can interfere with channels. So
I
I'm
know.
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
agree.
They might think that Jack is a threat to the system since you're on Don Lemon. That's a possibility to consider, that there's manipulation going on with YouTube's views and subs.
Well,
They unsub people. Go ahead.
I've heard people make that claim, but a lot of it is speculation and assumption, so I don't really try too much in the
But
blame
if,
game. And
well, if your numbers go
what I
down,
encourage, can I
sorry.
please, what I
Yeah.
encourage you to consider is, please witness. There is something unusual happening with me, no matter how hard I try on my own. I mean, yeah, some things succeed, but it's not in the direction. There's been no calls, right? Father's Day came and went. Nothing from anyone that I really wanted to talk to, but you know, there's something greater than just our thoughts that's happening in this world. And we're not going to see past our thoughts until we surrender them away. Surrender your beliefs of what cannot be done. Surrender your thoughts of what cannot be. Because with God, it's the only way you'll know anything. For God is
Surrender my thoughts for what cannot be. Is that what you said?
yes.
Cannot be done. And then what was the God part? I'm trying to piece this together.
I appreciate that, Stephen. Here, we'll bring it back. I lost the thought, but we'll bring it back. And you've been underestimated and misunderstood as well. And I've I've received feedback that people assume I don't see the manipulation, but I do. But I also see your genuine side as well, Stephen. So,
Well, thank
So,
you, Jack.
Jack,
I
I'm sorry.
appreciate
Pause
that.
for 1 second. This is very important. This is very important. So you see how, like, you and Steven, you have a little bit sometimes, maybe clashes a little bit, but you said you see the manipulation from your side a little bit, and then I'm assuming maybe it's more characteristic from Steven. But let me ask you a question. Now, with me and Cynthia, I see sometimes the good in her, right? And I see a
Cynthia.
lot of manipulation. Yeah, I see a lot of. I'm trying to understand how should I deal with her, because Jack's been through a lot of this, and maybe you. But just like you said, you see the manipulation, but you also see the good side. I don't see that much good side in her. Not saying that she doesn't have one. I'm sure she has one, but she doesn't show it to me at all. To me
Well, she
at all.
can't cook. That's part of it. But
Well, I'm saying what I'm saying is Jack sees some good side from you that you show him. She doesn't show me any good side. So how do I deal just with the manipulation and maybe
let,
trying to see her side?
let me jump in here, please, because I also want to be respectful of Stephen. You jumped in before he could even respond to what he received.
Apologize, Jack. I apologize. I didn't want
I
to
was
forget
going
it.
to say, well, I do appreciate what Jack said about me. What he said, he can see my sincerity. Sometimes it shows, and I do appreciate. I want to say I appreciate that, Jack. And I am an angel and a devil. I'm both. I'm two in one. I'm
Yeah.
not just one. I'm not just the devil. I'm both.
Well, choose only one. You're safest that way. Seriously, choose only one. Let the devil fade away. And that means we've got to allow ourselves to give up, the devilish ways.
It's so much fun to be El
I
Diablo, though.
I
It's so
know.
much fun. Yeah,
I
it's like
know.
I'm dancing with the devil. It's a dance. It's
Stephen,
entertaining. Yeah.
I want to allow this seed of thought for you to wonder on. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
What might be missed if instead of playing with the devil, we were playing with the creator of the universe and all possibilities of what might be? That's what I do. I've given myself to the universal creative force of imagination, and through the power of mind and will, I went from hell with a cruel dictator who was real bossy and controlling, not just to me. I yelled at a lot of people. I thought it was my role as a union guy and as a dad. Be strict, be tough. I drove myself insane, and I took myself through hell. My poor child watched me in my misery, suffering, and shame. So
Yeah.
no wonder he didn't fucking call me on Sunday.
I don't have a child though, Jack. Like you were talking about, I have Tarek and I have some in the chat room that they're kind of my children in a way. I think they look up to me as a daddy, but I don't have any biological children. I just have some in the chat,
Okay.
like neutral ground, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't mind saying that. I look up to some people as a role model, like in some ways, like things about you, or Jack, or Paul. Some people.
Here, let me interrupt. I want to swing back to Tarek's question as well, but I forgot that Tommy has been in the back
Oh,
a little
Cynthia,
bit.
if she has a good side, it was. If she
Yeah.
has any.
Well,
Couldn't see
how the question I heard is, what are some ways to see the good in someone I'm really challenged to see the good in? That's
No, she doesn't show me the good, Jack. What I'm saying is, you see the good in her, right? I'm trying to see the good.
You got to butter her up. You got to send her tacos or something. Butter her up a little bit.
Here, I want to see.
What's going on with Tommy there?
I don't know. Tommy, are you there, brother? Hey,
Yes.
I saw you in the back. I didn't
Gotta
mean
give me a second, Jack, because you keep me so fucking in the back that I have to live my life and try and actually accomplish things because I don't pretend.
Give me a heads up when you're ready, brother, and I'll bring you back up. I'm sorry it wasn't the right time, and I didn't mean to leave you back there so long. Golly geez. See, I keep despite my best intentions, those who have problems against me, despite my best intentions, I still make mistakes.
Was that Illuma Tommy? I couldn't recognize his voice. He sounded like
It's the
Dex.
bird. Just the bird.
What happened to his voice?
He got a bird and I think was making noises, I think. But go ahead, Jack. You were saying, how do you see the good in her when she's not showing the good?
See where it's shown elsewhere. Okay? Because accept the fact that who she is more than just what's given to you. Okay? Now, then the next step I found for myself is, why am I receiving this part of her when I know that there's other parts that are good? This is a game I played with myself with Margot, right?
Yeah,
I know I know she's respected and fun and loved and, where she allows it to be, but why not me? So I can't answer that, but I know I have to control me. right? And I've got to find a way to accept and appreciate others for who they are and who they want to be. Because we're all in this life and everyone's got their opinions, and the opinions are what piss us off. It's all a matter of retraining thoughts internally and externally. That's our goal.
I
got
have
a
a word of
sign.
advice for Tarek, if you would allow me to
Sure, yeah.
give him a little bit of advice.
Real
I
quick.
would send Cynthia some Taco Bell and KFC and maybe a flower. A lot of Hispanics love to wear a flower in their hair, like a rose or something, and just as a gesture of friendship, and say, Cynthia, here's some food, and see if her
No,
nice side comes out. No, well, if her
Stephen.
nice side
Okay.
Snaps has asked me about
Thank
3 times when we're ever going to do Coach Jack again. And I'm like, King Steven does it every fucking day. Snafu, go get down with him. And Jack, yesterday, did you say you texted your son for Father's Day? As in Dominic?
Yeah, through Messenger, yes.
Like you've always had contact with him?
No. Like I received a message from him around the middle of May.
The Facebook thing?
I hope it's him. I
Yes.
hope it's not
Yes.
Rapplet or
Is that
somebody
Yes.
the
playing.
Facebook thing you were telling us about?
Yes, Tommy.
So you went quiet on trying to discern if it was actually him, and now you're just treating it like it's him? Or you didn't tell us that you know it's him?
I've said I'm confident it is him.
But I mean, ever since we agreed that it is sketchy, you haven't said anything else about it until you're telling us that you're just interacting with it like it's an AI Dominic.
All I
Were you
said,
listening to me, or were you following the chat like a Rose 666?
I hope it
all I
isn't Kate.
said was that I sent my son a message for Father's Day, wishing him
So
a
you
happy
know it's him.
Father's Day. I what?
You know it's him.
I'm confident it is him until
You
I
know
receive.
if it's him or not.
Tommy, I'm honest. I admit what I do not know. That's something
So,
you
okay, so the answer is no, you are not 100% sure if it's him or not.
correct.
Okay.
Just like at this point, I'm still not convinced that this is real. I mean, I vaguely have memories of an experience playing a family and shit. And there was like a little kid with me a long time ago. But that family, like everyone wants to blame me for, is long in the past. I miss them. It's kind of sad
You
to
got
me
noise,
that
Eric.
my son is alive and well, and yet I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't find memories anymore. I live in the present with a mind focused on a greater future for me, for everyone in this world. It's going to happen, guys, through the clowns right there. Those two
Yes.
clowns might be what God has prepared, right?
Yes.
I think I am.
It's good to live in the moment, because Eckhart Tolle advises that as well. Hi, Untrackable. Eckhart Tolle has the whole thing being in the present moment, because we're tortured by our past a lot of times. So I think that you might be on the right track.
Thank you, Stephen. Eckhart Tolle was one of the many teachers I found alive at this time. I tell you what, there's so many different ways of explaining these things, the mind and the spirit of consciousness, the essence of life and love, which is what we really are. We're not these labels. We're not these diagnoses. We're not even just this human body, but we've got to accept what and who we are. What I've come to accept about myself is this world is not what I thought it was, ever. I had been so wrong in my life when I thought the American dream was more important than my life. My
Yeah.
life and my happiness, they're up to me to nurture, just like anyone else. But God's got within us these perfect designs. We start getting selfish and start manipulating the truth, start deceiving and playing jokes, with intentions of never being honest, leaving people in doubts and leaving people in confusion. You start playing those games and then you start believing your own lies. And then you're fucked. Because then you start
Jack,
showing yourself to others as a clown.
yeah.
What's that?
Jack, do you think the American dream has deceived most Americans? Would you say like top to bottom, all economic levels, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, etc., that it's permeated America?
I would. And it's not just an American corruption. America has spread its lack of values or misplaced values and methods of controlling. It's been spread all around the world. So the whole world population of mankind, we've become parasites on Earth. That's what we are.
I sometimes I was talking about that the other day. I wonder why parasites even exist in nature. The ones that, like, why do they even exist? What are your thoughts on that? Do you have theories, Jack, Tarek, Untrackable?
Yeah, welcome, Untrackable. Blessings to you, brother.
Yes, always. Thank you for having me. Something that comes to mind is you brought up the idea of the American dream, and yeah, dreams are great and all. However, life is not a dream. Life is full of hardship, even survival, even at the simplest definition requires an understanding of hard work and that death. If you consume, then you kill and stuff like that. So there will be these moments, these lessons that you can learn to where you get out of dreamland and this is not a pointed thing at anybody. It is just what I have found is you get what you do. You reap what you sow, and there are no guarantees. So even though you sowed the field, it does not mean you will get a crop. You understand?
No, you lost me, brother. I got to admit, I got to be honest, you kind of lost me on that. We don't always get what we reap, what we sow. But Jack, could this all be God's dream? Like he said, it isn't a dream. He said, this is not a dream. But what if this is kind of like God's dream or hallucination? What happened? Did Jack freeze? It looks like his camera's frozen. Are you there, Jack?
Until he comes back, I got a question real quick. So, like, do you see things like the? Oh, okay, he's back. So I'll wait until then. I'll wait until Jack.
Okay,
I don't know if he wants to address something else.
Jack was talking, but he froze.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So what I was thinking is the level of mind is the question asked, that we're all within the imagination and the dream of God. I think I might be freezing again. I don't know. StreamYard's not working. There it goes.
Yeah, you're going in and out.
Dang. Here, tell you what, you guys go ahead with what you were going to say, Tarek or El Perro. Welcome to you. I'm going to be right.
Welcome, El Perro.
No, if El Perro wants to go, I'll wait. I respect my elders.
Well, yeah, I just came up because you were speaking about Eckhart Tolle, and the opening in his book says that You are here to help enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. That is how important you are. You are part of the very fabric of the universe.
I agree.
And we have to be able to understand our part in that individually. And this is the thing that I get on people about the popularity contest. Everybody wants to play their part, but they want to be the most top priority part. And that's not and that's not the way this universe works. You have minor parts, you have major parts, you have all the parts in between, and they all have to work together.
Well, El Perro, if one thinks they're a superstar, you'll be a superstar. You'll manifest what you think. If you think you're a loser, you'll just kind of be a loser. But if you think, I'm going to be a superstar, I believe it, I'm going to manifest it.
Right, but the manifestation of that ideology, is it the individual ideology of wanting to be the superstar, or is it an individuality of being a superstar in that fabric?
I'm not sure. I don't think of it as an ideology at all, really. But
well, and that's why I say I think a lot of people get it mixed up with a popularity contest rather than a purpose.
Jack wants to jump in. Let him jump in.
These are great conversations. Thank you. Hopefully, I got a fan going now on the electronics, so hopefully that's not, the sound's not coming through. But
it's better now. Yeah.
Dang it! I just took us off from where El Perro was at and the idea that came up.
Manifesting superstar thoughts.
Only one that's not frozen.
What's that?
Let me take off my camera. Maybe that will help.
No, it's all good. Here, if I can swing us back to the idea of the levels of mind and the mind of God. Oh, you were talking Eckhart Tolle, the power of now and the being a part of this divine unfolding. And it is. We are an aspect of this glorious creation. And this glorious creation of life here on Earth in the entire solar system and universe, right? We're a tiny little aspect of this glorious creation of life. And the glorious universal creation of life, it's a reflection of the divine mind, right? And that divine mind is the Father of all creation, the absolute, right? The one source of all things. And it's the energy that's beyond the form. We're here to overcome the world. And Untrackable was talking about the material ideas where life is painful. You got to kill to survive. It's all about life eating life. That's the beastly ways. Now, the other side of materialism, I guess, could be idealism. Less rigid and structured, more fluid and open conceptually. Because that's what we are in my idea. We're concepts within the mind of God. The universe is a concept imagined and brought into being by supernatural forces that we do not fully understand. You know? So if we overcome the world together, we become the caretakers of the life here on Earth, which I believe is what God has intended for us, to be these divine images walking in the likeness of Christ Jesus, right? And many other saints, many other stars.
And I think Eckhart Tolle touches on the thing about time being the delusion too. That's why he says the power of now. The thing about history and its greatness, along with history and its atrocities. Is there anything greater in history than the greatest things that have already happened? Is there anything worse than the greatest atrocities that have already occurred? Is the Creator still creating? Did he create in the beginning and then stop and let us work with the rest? What is it? The time constraint in that Eckhart Tolle expresses in the book Power of Now is a powerful message. And that's why I like Jack talking about living in the now. It always reminds me of Eckhart Tolle and
Yeah.
the time constraints, and that's
Me
part of
too.
your competitive marketing and competitive popularity part. You have to have certain things done in a certain amount of time. Doesn't the Lord teach you patience? Let it happen in its time.
The Lord offers. How about this? The Lord offers. We learn, we receive, right? The lessons have already been given. The answers are just there to be found. This is the key to individual happiness and success. It's so simple. The mind will reject it if you allow it. Okay. But the key to growth, happiness, and success is to be solution minded, right? Solution focused, progress and growth. That is my path to life. Now, where do I want to progress? What do I want to grow? Those are the questions each of us get to find.
And it's very important to not forget the material side of things, because concept and ideology does not feed people. Work feeds people. So somebody has to do work.
Untrue. Untrue. That's what we were taught, Untrackable. And I don't mean to be disagreeable with you. I mean to be polite. But we've been taught that the only way for food is hard work. Well, that's one small aspect of it. I mean, there's nurturing and caring and tending that must be done to the agriculture, and there's preparation and things that need to be done.
We could have robots automating all this in greenhouses, Jack. We shouldn't have to toil doing these plants. We should have socialism and communism with robots. They can handle the planting.
Let's come up with new names, because the old ways, you bring the old names in and, holy shit, this is my life too. I'm still Jack. I'm still the same name. The people are stuck on the past with me.
I'll take it back to the word purpose. If you replace everything that takes you from being here and replace it with automation, well, why are you here?
Well, think that through. What would we be doing if we weren't working? We'd probably be learning, exploring, finding ways to improve our own life, our neighbor's life, our community.
No, the robots are doing that for you. You just have to sit and enjoy life. But what are you going to do?
Okay.
Adventures.
No. See, you took what I said and you twisted. But say it's even that way, where no one on Earth actually has to work a job, where we don't even have to work to clean up the oceans and the messes that everyone has created.
Robots can do that.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, and then there's still, you know what? Whatever. We'll figure it out. I suggest that the purpose of life, as I've been saying, I suggest that the purpose of this life, it's in line with what the other people have been saying. It's for the expansion of consciousness. Figure out what that means, and you figure out your purpose for your life.
So just as you have this, and I'm not messing around. This is my thought process.
Okay.
Just as we have this life on Earth, and sometimes it seems pointless, because if you've done your education, the human life only lasts so long, so you're only here for so much amount of time and stuff like that. For the good of the species, are you willing to go on a trip that you will be expected to perform all the duties, along with procreate, and then teach them to do the duties? And I mean, imagine like a 1,000-year spacecraft being sent someplace. You only are going to exist for the beginning of that.
Okay.
No.
But then you have to fulfill the duties of maintenance and stuff like that. But you also have to create the next crew, because this is a one-way mission.
Where are you going with this, dude? But
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
kind of
understand.
curious too.
I don't know.
Where's this mind of untrackable taking us, brother?
Well, much like your life on Earth. Hey,
Yeah.
there are these things that these concepts and these ideologies that existed well before we got here today,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of shaped the way that we live our lives. How are you going to get food? That's not an ideology. That's hey.
Do you want to know different, or do you want to continue to believe that the only way for food is hard work? I know different, but are you open to it? That's the question. Because
there will never not be work when it comes to create.
So what? Are you looking for problems or solutions? The solution is the focus for this stream, and I'm grateful
Well,
for the
then
chance.
I would say the solution would be the word acceptance, because you can't change anything.
Says who?
What are you going to change about how you get food? You're not going to change the dirt. You're not going to change the wall. You're not going to change DNA.
You know what? Hold on. You're not listening. I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm losing my patience. I tried redirecting you back to the point that solutions, and all I'm hearing is you can't. Motherfucker, you don't know me. You don't know what I can or cannot do. You ain't God. You don't know what God might or might not allow, dude. Brother, cooperation. That's a simple way to food. We all have different talents. We all have different skills. If we share them for the greater value of improving life rather than earning a paycheck so other people can earn profits, when are we going to get together and say, hey, enough of this? Fuck that. My human life is too short to be a slave to some employer. I'm worth more than any minimum wage. I'm worth more than any paycheck, because we are. Every one of us is.
Somebody has to do something for you to have what you have.
Robots.
You said
themselves.
You said we all need to know our roles. Somebody has. Yes.
Can I jump in just for a moment? If you do a Google search for greenhouses with robotic arms, they already have massive greenhouses growing fruits and vegetables without people. It's just robotic arms. They have repair robot. It's all maintenance free. The food, there's nobody toiling away that has to do this. Robots can handle all of it already. We already have the technology. You just have to have the will to make more greenhouses. We have robots that can build. We have 3D printing. We have all this shit already, dude. You're thinking in the past and people have to do all the work.
Wait.
No, it's not about that. It even goes back to what Jack said about expanding your mind, expanding what you know, expanding what your knowledge. So if you can open up more people that have everything that they need to survive, and they can seek a bound. It will always be about seeking boundaries. Hey, okay,
boundaries.
I don't have to go to work.
I don't follow what you're getting. I don't even get what you're getting at. Boundaries.
And I've broken the boundary of education. So now I want to break the boundary of my physical. Sorry, guys, I have to take a break.
Great. Yeah, that's another quality that we could explore. If people weren't focused on budgets and schedules and actually had time to live, to explore all the opportunities that life can bring, discovering how other people have found ways to develop their bodies, their talents, dude, people move and do some fucking amazing things with bodies that are very little different than mine. I don't know how
Yeah.
to dance very good. I don't know how to throw real well,
But
right?
that's something that has to be taken into consideration is what we know to be the human lifespan as it is right now, and that is what is going to be your part in something like the Starship Enterprise. You know what I
How
mean?
about we focus on the here and now? Starship Enterprise, that stuff will reveal itself. The first step to creating that opportunity for the next generation is we overcome the dependence on money here on Earth. I was thinking earlier today, the economy. We've got kinks in the distribution systems. We need to address the problems. The problem is not the poor. The problem is not the crime, not the street crime as much as it is the white collar crime, the misrepresentation of freedom that Donald Trump and these other people are talking about. So,
So it makes sense. Break down the borders created within the mind that limit us from being together as one, and open the borders of the mind that say, "Hey, what's next?"
yes. What's next? That's what I'm asking myself every single day. And I encourage you guys, become a child again. Allow yourself to stop knowing. As a child, you never knew what was going to happen. You know, your parents would tell you, "Hey, we're going here," right? Or you'd be told you're going to go there. We didn't really know, but we're wise enough to find it.
And not only that, but like I mentioned before, Eckhart Tolle pushes on it, the thing about the timeline. We get so consumed today with the schedule and the rhetoric of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Whereas, you know, in our natural sense, there's a change of lifestyle as we see in the Native Americans. They move south to north and north to south as a migratory animal does.
There's no clocks in nature, dude. We
Right.
don't need
So
clocks and schedules and timelines.
exactly. I hate the clock. I hate
I
it.
don't like clocks or alarm clocks. I don't like that stuff. But I like the Star Trek thing that Untrackable was getting at. Could we make peace with Klingons? Like, and the Klingons would be our enemies on Earth, right? Or Romulans or whatever.
We can make peace with anyone we choose.
That's what I mean. Like,
allowed, right?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like you know, I've never been to New York City, but I've been around plenty of people, and I can say, like, when I come within a certain distance, I say hi, and I really don't go looking for anybody except for my boss.
I'd say hi to you too if I saw you. Like, I do that as well.
But what it, you know, and this is a stereotype, so I apologize if I offend anybody, but you wave at somebody as you're walking past them in New York City, you're like, "Bro, I just passed 10,000 people. You think I'm going to say hi to all of them?" Whereas, you know, maybe I would. If you come within a certain distance, I'm going to acknowledge that you came that close to me. If you ignore me, I'm going to pay attention that you ignored me. It's not an offense. It's just, hey, I need to be aware of what came close to me. And you imagine they have a technology that gives them a spaceship that sends them out looking for stuff. Just imagine, well, we got a spaceship too, and we're out here looking for stuff, and it's like, oh, there's a spaceship. There's a spaceship. Why does it have to be animosity immediately? Why can't we just be like, hey, what's this?
Elon Musk has that Tesla Roadster in space, right, in orbit. But, you know, if you say hi to people, they'll generally say hi back to you, whether you're in a city or a small town. Even if you say hi McFlurry, hi McNugget, if you give them McDonald's nicknames, stuff like that, it breaks the ice and people smile and laugh. And I think laughter is a good thing, and it's necessary. I'll say hi to someone. I'll be like, hey, what's up, McFlurry? How you doing, McNugget?
I love that feeling.
It's great. I mean, it's...
Hey, especially when you're all alone and you run into somebody. It's like, hey, how's it going? It's like, hey, I ran into another person that's in the same place doing the same thing at the same time that I'm doing. We just came in, to proximity of each other. That's
What do
cool.
you think about this, Jack? When you get in the proximity of someone in person, can you feel their energy of that spirit that's near you?
Every moment is different. I'm wondering what it matters. I mean, we're kind of getting away from the topics that I was hoping.
Okay. I'm sorry, Jack. Let's bring it back on topic. What is your solution? I do have a question.
No, it is tight. I'm sorry.
Okay. I do have a question about the No Kings movement. What is your stance? I have an image backstage. I feel like this is directed at me in a way. I think that I'm worried about this. I don't like this No Kings movement. I think there might be something there where there's animosity directed at King Stephen with this movement.
Well,
do you think these peasants might be against me, or is it all about Trump?
Well, king, or? It's funny you mentioned that, the peasants. That's the mindset it puts. It says no kings. I would rather say say everyone is their own king and queen.
Yes, sovereign beings, independent, right? Is that what you're getting at, El Perro?
Absolutely.
Here's something to realize. That is the key. The key to our freedom is independence, and people have become dependent upon systems. And these systems are criminal activities. The international banking scheme, I said it in the opening, I'm pretty sure. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a fucking criminal enterprise that's built and designed to extract labor, value, and resources from the hardworking poor, so that the world can be controlled and ruled by a few, right? There's people who've chosen that this is hell because there's pain and suffering and death and all this sort of thing. So there's people who have chosen that it's better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven. And heaven is here, guys. I found mine. And it's the here and now. If you can believe it, it's true. I'll say that again. If you can believe it, it's true for you. But you gotta be honest, and you gotta have the facts that support your conclusion. Because if all you're going off of is beliefs and rumors, I mean, like Tommy was putting me on the stand here. What do you know? I don't know anything until I have confirmed it for myself. And the way I can confirm things for myself, it's like everyone else. I feel better when I do have confirmation from others. To swing us back to where we were, though, regarding sovereignty and individual self-control, life is so much easier when we recognize and appreciate how intertwined and reliant we actually are upon each other. We're interdependent. There's no real divisions. These borders aren't real. The state lines aren't real. The county lines aren't real. It's all just pretend. And even the economic divides, that shit only happens because we've agreed to it. Hey, welcome. We had some changes and adjustments. Let me step back and welcome everyone. So jump in, please.
What's the problem that you're asking for a solution for specifically?
Thank you. Originally, the topic and the question came up was, I recognize the pattern. People are quick to ask, hey, what's your problem? And I was asking myself, what is my problem? What Why am I lacking? What's going on? And so then I realized I don't want to focus on problems. Let's focus on solutions. So the idea was that's kind of a direction I think could be helpful and maybe a value for me to take with these streams. I have a gift of brainstorming, kind of thinking outside of the box. And so if people are willing to discuss problems they're facing, we can brainstorm solutions and maybe help people progress in life.
Well, the only problem that I can even think about right now is our government. And this is going to be super disheartening to hear, but I think that we need to prepare for war or to go into hiding. There's no other option. The Republicans are taking over by force. They're not going to listen to peaceful talk. We need to fight or we need to run.
All right. I don't want to be rude, but you're showing the same thing I kind of called untrackable out for.
I know it's hard to hear, but it's a solution.
No, Andy, there's other solutions. You chose the words only. You gave two options. That's the way of politics. Politics.
Well, let's talk about it then. What other options do you see?
Welcome to my live stream.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear what you say. Like, I hear what you're proposing. I'm saying what you're proposing probably isn't going to work, and we need to think about other solutions.
Hey, Andy, why should I waste time thinking about other solutions when we haven't really tried what I'm saying yet? Welcome to my live stream today. Okay, I'd like to open your mind, and I'm willing to, if you're willing to challenge your doubts, I'm willing to offer reasons why I'm convinced that this is what will work.
Yeah, I'm listening. I don't see a good reason to believe you, but I'm willing to listen.
Can you trust in God?
I don't believe in God. You know that.
That's your problem. So yeah. It's connected to it. Your doubts are your doubts are the resistance to understanding. So if you can accept the possibility, then you can entertain the idea, right?
I accept the possibility. I just don't think it's likely.
Why do you want to think it's not likely?
I don't want to think that way. That's what the evidence shows.
Have you given a fair chance, to convince yourself that it is possible rather than unlikely?
Yeah, I just said it's possible.
But you don't want to focus on the possibility. You want us to discuss the unlikelihood and discuss other alternatives to the one that's here and now with me that I'm committed my life to achieving.
Well, shouldn't we discuss all alternatives or just the one you're proposing? I mean, what do you want? I don't know.
I'd actually love what I said, which is, please, how about we try and explore my ideas before giving up completely? Because I'm pretty confident God's been with me this whole time. And that's what I want to express to the men and women who are serving in positions of Congress. Not just Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is the boss. I know how to speak with bosses. I've been growing and improving my ability to communicate. I said it elsewhere. As a man who served 2 enlistments in the U.S. Army active duty, carried around a title of disabled vet ever since, I then spent 2 decades in my heart as a public servant, working as a federal employee for nearly 30 years of my adult life. So Donald Trump actually hasn't been a government employee that long. And I know there's layers and layers of bureaucracy and hierarchy that need to be overcome, but I want to test the bounds of equality. Is America free and equal, or is it not? I want to speak to Donald Trump, the man, so that he can use his position to help us speak to Congress to get the support so he can do what he says he wants to do. He claims he wants peace, not just a ceasefire. I heard him say those words recently. I want to help him.
I'm with you. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Your title says that you were asking for other people's solutions. I don't necessarily have your solution. I think that the solution is probably submission or, retaliation.
All right, then please, you can continue that belief. I've
It was
offered
more
you
of an
something different
open
today.
space. It was more of an open space to brainstorm, right?
That's all I'm doing. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like if I'm wrong, then just like let's talk about it. Don't be like dismissive.
Well, that's what I'm asking you to do with me. If you could,
I do all the time, Jack. I do all the time. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? I do all the time. I'm asking you to listen to me for once.
I did.
Okay,
And
well then don't snap at me. There's no need to get angry because we disagree.
I'm not angry. I'm asking you to do as you say in the here and now. You may have listened in the past, but you're still filled with doubts, and you don't even want to bring solutions to what I'm saying. You want me to accept your doubts. And as I understood you to say, we must comply or obey or fight or something like that. Those are the only two options. How about we overcome?
Yeah, if you look through history, every time people overcame, they fought.
Are you looking at the past? Okay, fine. Yes, and I and others have learned different. I just participated with others who know how to use nonviolence to get a message out, right? So we as people can do what we can do whatever we want. Let's face it. I don't want to allow this corruption of the United States government to continue. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me speak clearly. I do not want to allow this corruption and incompetence to continue to represent me as a man. Put down the banner, please, so my name is clear. Jack Talcott, right? I want it to be clear. I no longer consent. Whoops, doggone it. I'll figure this out. I want everyone to join me. It's time to raise our standards of what we will individually and collectively accept. God allows us to create whatever government we want to pretend is important. You know, in the Bible, it talked about how they wanted kings and rulers so we could be like the others. Let's be different, you and me. Let's step out of line a little bit, non-violently, honestly, with generosity and creativity, because this is our life to create the life of our dreams. It took me over 45, almost 50 years to realize this. I've had dreams and visions of a world, of leaving a world that no longer required people to obey for a paycheck.
It would behoove many to look up the principle of non-aggression. It is what the world actually operates on.
Anarchism, non-aggression principle. NAP.
And Andy, please accept my apology. I intend no disrespect.
That's fine. I'm not upset.
What you witnessed from me, and here, let me step back and holy cows, Lindsay, your patience shines strongly, and you're often overlooked. Are you there? Okay. Well, I saw Lindsay come up a while ago.
That's why she joined.
What's that?
Hello, Lindsay. She was flirting with me the other day, Jack. Hi, Andy. How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
I'm all right. Yes, we can.
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you, sweetheart?
Dork. Okay, a few thoughts. I found it really interesting that one of the things that people protested against just the other day, Saturday, was anti-authoritarian rule. And so you ask Andy, what should we do to solve these problems that we have with the government? And he says, submit. So here we already have a conflict, and I don't think that's just be critical
Well,
of
no, that's misquoting me.
Yeah, it was more like submit or fight. It was the fight or
Yeah.
flight concept. Yeah.
Yes, those
Yeah.
were our two choices that he gave us.
He
But
wants to fight the government.
Okay.
and please don't get your feelings hurt, Andy. I'm just looking at this critically as if I were on some
Yeah,
kind
come on,
of committee.
Andy. Don't get your feelings hurt.
Let's stop.
Yes.
No, I won't. I just wanted to be represented properly.
Okay, I got you. I understand, but I had a problem with that solution.
I don't.
And,
I do.
and
Yeah.
It's not
here's
a
what I was.
solution. It's
what I
not a
was-
real.
Okay, here's what I wanted to ask you, Andy. It's
Yeah.
probably a better question for Jack, but just so that we could maybe try to work at a solution. What
Mhm.
I was thinking, what do we have? What's our strongest weapon that we have that is actually not a violent weapon? For example, the pen is mightier than the sword, kind of thing.
Love.
Yeah. It's our brain.
Love.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I would argue intelligence probably.
Oh, come on, dude. You don't like
How
love.
about, wait.
I love love.
Please.
I love love. Don't get me wrong.
You guys are both correct. Okay. And
No
Lindsay,
homo.
thank you. That is the appropriate way to lead that. Thank you. And Andy, that's where I wanted to point out. I don't mean any disrespect. What you witnessed from me was my frustration. I've faced so many doubts.
Jack, you did call him a motherfucker. I don't know if you remember that, but you did call him a motherfucker. It was worse.
You did.
It was. You said motherfucker to Andy. It was
That
a
would
little
have
bit.
hurt my feelings if I were Andy.
Andy, that is inappropriate and disrespectful, and you are worthy of more respect than that. I'm sorry for that.
Dude, you're forgiven. It's totally fine. I'm not even upset. And honestly, I don't necessarily think that that's the best. Maybe that comes from a place of hopelessness, watching our government take over perfectly law-abiding citizens with force. I mean, that's what they're doing now. They're using force. They've skipped
Well, there's
past
two parts to this
conversation.
question. No, because I was focusing on solutions, and we are aware of the problem. But
Yeah.
if I was focusing on solutions, I would say, what are our strongest tools? Okay, we have intelligence. Someone said we have love. And I mentioned that the
Someone.
pen
That
is
was
mightier
me.
than the sword. So we have the word.
Yeah.
How do we
That
incorporate
was me.
our strengths here? We must be missing something else and create a formula of our strengths.
Strong leadership, and a council of three.
So who's
A
getting
unity.
who's getting
I'm a
rid of
strong
our current
leader.
leadership?
Would you
I
vote for
am
me?
founding the High Council as we speak.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Would you?
Well,
would you
maybe to
prefer
you,
me
but some of us
Donald
actually
Trump?
might take it
There.
seriously, Stephen.
No.
It's happening. And Lindsay, this is brilliant. And I'd agree. What is the solution? What is our strongest, opportunity? Mind, heart, the power of word, right? The strength in
Speech
language.
and written.
Love, Jack. You need your love sign again. You're forgetting love is the most powerful.
The hippies tried to fight with
that.
love. Maybe it wasn't
said
enough. Maybe we need to incorporate some other things.
It got
Well, I just wanted to point out, since as a response to what you said, I think if we do want to play into those strong suits that you're speaking of, we should first establish that they are stronger suits than war, because war might be a stronger option for us. That's a possibility, anyway.
I really
You're
love
going backwards now. We didn't even work
Right.
together to work on a solution with those three things.
Exactly.
And I was going to give you.
Why go right to war? I don't.
Would
Can
you
I
please-
give you? Sorry. Go ahead.
Stop interrupting Lindsay. Stephen, please. Your disrespect or lack of respect is showing through, and I'll.
I was
speak
just
up
trying to
for it.
jump in. I wasn't trying to interrupt. I promise.
Thank you.
So if we took this on a micro level and applied this theory of using these strengths, let's just look at one small government problem. Here's one, for example, with agriculture. We are using a lot of illegal immigrants as well as legal with a specific ethnicity, background, etc. You know what I'm talking about, to work in the fields and do agricultural duties. And they're saying that they don't want to keep doing that forever. They want better lives. They want higher paying jobs. So what have we done? We have many colleges that have kind of like an agricultural majors with agricultural industrialization or something leading to the scientific and industrial advancement of farming technique and efficacy of plant growing and
Well,
different
first you have
types
to
of.
establish some
Well,
sort of ethical, you know,
I'm trying to
go
present
ahead.
a dilemma here, and then I'll shut up. Okay, so just try to put it in briefly. So what have we done? We've invented these mechanized things. Yet in California alone, farming equipment, different types of ways to grow plants, it's been it's been illegal. It's been ruled as illegal because the lobbyists have vouched for themselves with their millions and billions of dollars because they're rich, because they're farmers, and said, "Hey, we want control over this. We don't care if it's more efficient to use machines, if it takes 5 times less time. We want our money. We want to live well, and that's what we're fighting for." So the government says, "All right, I'm listening. You got it." So contrary to the constituency as a whole and their wishes, we decide to do the less efficacious route, and people hurt because of it. And people need jobs, and obviously, it's not the best solution. So here we go with the government fighting the people. If you just take that one simple problem with the government, and you could extrapolate to many things, healthcare, this and this and that. And if you applied our 3 rule tools for solution, the pen is mightier than the sword, the combined brain power and love, although I personally think that's too idealistic. Is there something that we
Well, I
could,
think there's more than that. I think there's more
Oh.
than just that. I believe you can do that with strong leadership through unity, authority, and wisdom. Okay, so there's not
and you
just
do
like
that for
love.
voting? Because look what we're doing with that
No, no,
wisdom
no.
so
It's
far.
not a question of voting. It's a question of leading. It's a question of showing the path. It
How do
has
you
nothing to
overcome
do with
money?
people voting. It's
I
about raising
really,
consciousness and
I have
awareness.
$1 billion to shut you up.
I really want to try and speak on this because I was
Okay, I'm
trying to
quiet.
tie those things together because everything you're saying, yes, that is the hurdle. We have a corrupt system where judiciously, right, it's legal for money to talk. So the wealth and authority in this nation and the world, how is it protected? By people who comply, people who obey, by people who choose to defend what really shouldn't be protected, right? That's what this entire system is created. The judicial system, the attorneys, it's all legalese to keep people friggin' confused and compliant. And why? Because they're confused. If they step out of line, they know they're going to get punished. And you don't want to get punished, and you don't want the people you care about to get punished. So you teach each other to obey, and you police each other. But in the meantime, every single one of us is getting taken advantage of, and we know it. That's why the world is filled with guilt and shame, because nobody has stepped up yet. We are that group who is stepping up. Anyone who is willing to join arm in arm with me, I'm willing to be a voice, to use the gift of mind and heart that I have been given, the experiences in life of, I've had tastes of leadership and I've studied those who know success. So to me, the odds are pretty much inevitable that as long as I don't give up, I will find a way to succeed. And even if I fail at the top, someone else will become inspired by what I've done and they'll do it better than me.
I wanted to, sorry. I wanted to add that I have actually in the past proposed a peaceful solution to you, Jack, and you didn't seem very interested in it. And I personally find it more realistic than talking to Trump.
The past
And
is
that,
the past.
Right.
I
I was
know.
going to say
Well,
the
no.
same, Stephen. The past is the
Andy,
past.
right.
No, I'm saying I offered this solution in the past, but you kind of blew it off.
Okay. Like you've blown off my solution, maybe? Could that be the same thing, Andy?
No, well, yeah. The thing is that your solution is ridiculous, Jack, and I'm saying this as a friend.
Tell you what.
But
According
that's your
to
perspective,
you,
yeah, because other
and you
people might
can-
believe in it.
you can go away until you're willing to open your mind and receive ideas different than you want me to accept. Because despite his confidence in what his opinion is against me, he doesn't fucking know me. And I'll go back to whatever words it was I said earlier. Man wants to be here and disrespect me, expecting respect.
Mm-hmm. Jack, I do have a question though. Lindsay said that she had $1 billion to shut you up. First of all, I don't want to sound like Hank here, but I doubt it. I don't think you have $1 billion, Lindsay. But
it was a hypothetical.
Sorry, but let me carry on. What would you do, Jack, if someone did have $1 billion and wanted to shut you up? That's a valid question by Lindsay, I think.
Oh, it'd be so simple.
Okay.
That $1 billion would be used to get the attention of the government. And if it's not me, someone else would receive the $1 billion to get the shit done. Because I believe that peace on earth is a worthy goal. And I will not accept excuses or doubts. I know it's worthy of being done. And I want to help Donald Trump know what he's missing. He's trusted the wrong people. He's trusted the right people to get him where he is. But now it's time for us as people. Okay, the system is created to protect those who control the system. We control the system when we choose, but we've given our power away. Help me.
Trump is off rocker.
What I'm literally asking people to do is to have just a little bit of trust in this possibility that it could be me. I think I'm prepared for this task, but I don't know how to create this conversation. I mean, I was talking to a friend before the live stream earlier today. Love, and back to our conversation here at the same time, using my mind, what I've been learning about the world and the life I am living, my love for others, my love for the belief that peace can be achieved has brought me to rent a place here in Baltimore. Now, by God's grace, I have the ability and the means to do so, but I'm committed to the cause. I'm less than 2 hours away, guys. I'm less than 2 hours away. And if we use technology, it could be as instantaneous as a video call or a phone call. How do we make that happen?
Jack, could I jump in for a moment?
Please do. Go ahead.
I just want to say with respect, try not to get angry over the doubters like Andy. I think that he has a lot of doubt, and he kind of got you riled up a bit there. And I think that it's best to have a solution. If you had $1 billion, would you spend at least $1 million to wipe him out?
You are a dork.
No, not at all, man.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you.
Seriously, the only thing I dream about anymore is making a better world. When I invested, right, and I did, I don't remember the exact amount, but there's thousands of dollars sacrificed by me just to associate the brand with me. My whole dream of trying to make these investments and to make some money, we've talked about this before. There's some amazing charities. There's some amazing organizations. There's amazing people in the world that I personally want to support. Not just my son, not just myself. There's greater problems in the world that we can all be a part of solving.
Yes.
But this, yes. Think about what it means to grow, right? What it means to grow is to expand. And so every day as we go through our day, we face choices and options. Go within Evaluate the choices with your mind, but sense your feeling. Does the choice give you expansiveness or contraction? Does it bring you down or up? Be mindful of the choices you make through your day and let expansiveness be your guide. The world we were born into, we've been convinced that contracts are the only way to go. But if you think about what contracts are in comparison to freedom, contracts are actually very limiting. They reduce.
Con.
Yep.
It's a con. It really is.
Well, in the greater
it's right in the word, right? Contract, con. It's a con game is what it is, more than a contract.
The entire government and the whole society is backwards. It's the devilish game that's been allowed here on earth. As I've said,
I had an idea earlier that I wanted to ask you about. It's kind of for marketing. Would you be open to marketing the show in different ways? Like somebody's dialing a phone, it's not me. But would you be open to ideas of marketing like a Talcott Tuesday girl each week? And because one of your happiest shows was when Eternal was on here. That's why I'm bringing it up. You were very happy to have her sitting beside you. She was youthful. Now, what could that bring more attention for world peace? Not exploitation, but just have a Talcott Tuesday girl every.
Yes, thank you. Stephen, no. I don't see the value in that because it's not in line with my greater purpose. I don't do the live streams as much to entertain people, although I do hope to. I hope people enjoy what I'm sharing, and
I won't belabor the point, Jack, but it would bring attention of people here to hear your message. It would bring them in the door. I'm kind of a marketing genius as your former co-host. I know I quit, but I'm still trying to help out the show.
Please pause. Please.
Okay.
Well, I know, but you're so far. I don't think we're on the same page. And you know what? I was short with Andy. He left from the back, which I fully understand.
Is he upset?
No, he's returned. And this is why I want to be. I intended no disrespect again, but golly,
Andy.
Welcome back, Andy.
Welcome back.
Thank
Andy.
you. And to be fair, I was probably disrespectful for using the word ridiculous. That was out of line on my end too. But
yes.
Thank you.
Just really quick, I wanted to just maybe bring up the former idea I brought up that was a peaceful solution and see how you feel about it again.
Please do, Andy. Thank you.
I think that if we're going to only explore peaceful solutions, we have hundreds, maybe thousands of little small anti-Trump groups that are all pushing for their own individual goals. And they're all spinning their wheels because none of them are even close to as powerful as the Republican Party, who is indeed pushing for the same goals. They have their shit together and they're working as a team. And I think that we need to try to focus on going and meeting with these small Trump groups and unifying them into one large group. Instead of trying to talk to Trump, who's clearly never going to listen to anyone that opposes him, just work on, like Lindsay said, play into our strengths, which in my opinion, aside from, our brains and our love, is our numbers. We have half the country on our side.
Andy, can I ask you a question?
Hold on a second, Stephen. I would just like to say that I think that's actually a pretty good idea, except for the fact that we might never talk to Trump. That might actually get Trump's attention if these small movements all unite as one. Eventually, it makes it for a very big voice, right? Mm-hmm. And if that voice attracts enough attention, it might attract the attention, and then negotiations might take place. So instead of thinking negatively, how about looking at this maybe from a positive perspective where your idea is a good idea, but I'm just saying, let's see how far that can go if we were to implement such an endeavor.
Can I ask a question?
I agree. Oh, sorry.
Can I ask Andy a question? Andy, are you a radical like Jack? Jack has spoken about being a radical. I'm wondering if you're on a similar page, but maybe with a different view than Jack. Like, do you want to overthrow the government, Andy, or what's your solution?
I don't know if I would use those words. Maybe like temporarily overthrow the Republican Party or something, but I wouldn't say that I'm a radical. I just think that things have gotten so extreme that it takes extreme measures to fight it.
I agree with the goal and the achieve and the purpose. I'm not sure I agree on the path though.
I'm trying to see if you guys have common ground.
There is, and I'm imagining I can see the benefit of that. However, I have tried communicating with working class people. They don't seem to understand me. Now, I have a lot of memories of successful negotiations and successful communication when people were actually in their roles as bosses because they get in the back of their mind what their real responsibility is to their duties. I know how to get into people's minds and I know how to speak from the heart. So, your doubts are well placed in Donald Trump because you're observing his character accurately. The guy doesn't listen. He surrounds himself by people who agree with his ideas. It's the American way. It's part of the insanity asylum we've got. So in my life, I used to try and complain about my problems and they never went away. And then I tried avoiding my problems and ignoring my problems and they just kept getting worse and getting bigger. And that's what's happening to the budget. That's what's happening to the militarization of our nation. We're ignoring the problems. They will not go away until we bring forth the solutions. And I think it's possible that God has awakened me through learning through a lot of different people to some ideas and a vision for what could be possible with America. Now, all I'm suggesting is would people please just play like anything is possible and imagine how could how if this was in our destiny, if this I came across this guy and this guy thinks that he can achieve this, how can we achieve this with him? How can we open the doors? There's many paths. We can catch Donald Trump directly and then go to Congress. We can get people in Congress and then go to the rest of Congress and then go to Donald Trump. We can do this any way we want or any way we can figure out. I'm just not willing to back down or give up.
Nor should you. You shouldn't just back down. We're at a point, I think, of no return where if we back down, everything gets worse. But that wasn't my mic wasn't noisy. I don't think that somebody had a vibrator or phone call or if their phone was vibing or something. That wasn't me.
I didn't notice. Hey, you tell me. I'm not suggesting overthrow the government, but what I am suggesting is we use the people within the system. We communicate with them as human beings and let them see what they're doing, kind of open their eyes to their responsibility. It's the failure in leadership that has America at war with itself. This is the exact tactic that fascists and tyrants and Donald Trump are using. You divide, right, to create more wars, and then more people are afraid, and they're more dependent upon a strong leader, a man to take charge. That's Donald Trump. I'm not suggesting we overthrow the government, but I am suggesting we take charge of our government. The responsibility lies on us. The rest of the world is defenseless against the atrocities that the American government is committing. Why? Because we got the strongest fucking military ever. And it's filled with people who are willing to die, right, to protect those around them. And then we send children off and we profit. Donald Trump's a weapon salesman.
You're breaking up, Jack. You're freezing and Your audio stopped. You're frozen.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Jack, you're completely frozen. Tommy was going to be brought back up. He was put backstage, but he was going to be brought back up. Could somebody bring him on? Do you remember that?
Not too sure.
Yeah, I don't remember none of that. I do see him whining in the back chat, though.
Well, he was put back, and Jack said, I'll bring you back up when the bird stops chirping, I think, or something.
All right, so I guess it would be maybe a good time to do something.
Do a trick.
What do you want to do? You want to do something?
Yeah.
Lindsay, was that you vibing? Were you thinking of me and vibing when earlier, that vibration sound?
I think that was OTW, and I also heard a dog. So
no,
maybe he's near some water.
Oh, maybe
you heard a duck? Is that what you said?
Like,
a duck?
I heard
no,
that.
that's not me. Can't be me.
I thought you had those bath toys again.
Bath toys? Oh my goodness!
Now you're saying things, Lindsay. You might get people thinking stuff now. Oh, finally, Jack's back.
Started it. Steven fills up every blank.
I was just trying to keep the show
Sorry,
rolling.
welcome back, Jack.
Welcome back, Jack. I was just trying to keep it going. No dead air.
Thank you. Where I was going, just real quick, not suggesting overthrow the government, but I am suggesting we have the opportunity, the obligation to take charge of our government. And if and when we as people take charge of the government, then we rewrite the rules and we change the way that money is distributed, the way that it's operated, controlled. We've got a one world religion already, the worship of money.
And remember, folks, folks, in a republic, it is the duty of the people to throw off a despotic government. That is true and correct. However, in being diligent in that duty, it's absolute that we must first come with a solution, because to throw off a government and then turn around and not have a solution, we end up bringing back the same type of despotic government. It's repeated in history.
That's what we asked for. And shouldn't the solution be solutions, since the problems have many variables too? Yeah. Shouldn't it be a multifaceted attempt? For example, creating a centrist party and also creating some rules for lobbyists and monetary rules, so that we're not ruled by money and we're not biased and we're not, everything doesn't have to be dependent upon how many billions a senator gets or the president is getting, because we won't allow for that. And
Jack, I have a question. You said about changing the rules. I wonder, would you change the Constitution? I hate to sound like old Joe, but on the rules part of changing the rules, if old Joe was here, he would probably ask you, would you consider changing the Constitution? Like amendments is what I mean? To prevent tyranny of this kind.
Which particular amendments, for example?
Adding amendments is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Would you change the rules so that money couldn't take over America again? Because it says on the dollar bill, "In God we trust," and I think the God is money. That's what they're showing you on the dollar bill.
Doesn't money own Canada as well, and the Middle East?
No,
it's Canada, not just a United States problem.
No, it's
not Canada, dear. It doesn't own Canada.
Stephen, the international banking scheme, the money owns, the system owns the world. People have sold their freedom because of irresponsible choices. We give power away, and then these people make choices that affect every single one of us. There are thousands of rules and laws and codes and policies written and executed every single year. We live in an insane asylum, and it's time for the truth. The rules,
right? You said you changed the rules. That's why I had the question.
Right, and
Jack, I
in a
Canada,
realm of, of augmented awareness, consciousness awareness, in a realm where people are actually all elevated to another level, I don't think that would even be necessary, because everybody would kind of like instinctively operate under some like I guess unspoken rule. It's like everybody knows what they have to do, because
we need
it's
less
it's
rules,
the
not unspoken rules.
no
We
no
need
no.
less rules.
It's in the
Less.
sense of doing what's true and what's right. So it's everybody kind of knows, it's written on their heart. They don't need a piece of paper to tell them what to do.
Well, OTW, you're Canadian. In Canada, I'm sorry, Jack, I'll let you jump in a second. I didn't mean to jump in. I just wanted to make a point about Canadian money. We have loonies and toonies, and they're coins. They're not paper. They are different, and they're cute. Loonies and toonies?
You said it
Go ahead.
accurately.
Yeah.
They're cute toys to collect.
Yes.
So are people, so are things. That's the way the wealthy look at the world. It's all about collecting and getting and taking. Make sure that others don't take. That's what Donald Trump knows. What I've been learning, my life, the purpose I've lived, I'm proud of the life I've lived because I served. Donald Trump hasn't served. He's been served on a silver platter. And back to the question about rewriting the rules, it's really simple. No more legal secrets, no more intellectual property. We share knowledge with the purposes of educating each other, so that, just what OTW said, everyone goes through their life with a pretty clear understanding of what is the right choice for me. If they don't know the right choice for them, they know exactly where to go, because we've got communities instead of prisons and cells separated by budgets and schedules. I miss people, and I live in a world that's filled with them.
I was just wondering, how could you use Donald Trump's love for money to fight Donald Trump?
It's beautiful. It's not so much his love of money. That's the part we're going to overcome. It's I can help his ego, right? He's so easily manipulated. That's why I know he's just a puppet. He's obeying someone else. People are telling him what to do because his ego
That's
is
a conspiracy. That is a conspiracy, though, right, Jack? That
what?
We don't have the solid evidence. But do you think that Trump has secrets? Do you think Ivanka might be a guy? There's a conspiracy going around that she might not even be
a
what, girl.
Stephen? That's not my business, and I really don't give a shit, to be honest.
But you're against secrets, right? All secrets. You want to...
Stephen, I respect privacy and personal, intimate relations. I don't give a shit. But what someone does in public when they're being paid to represent someone like me to the world, because that's what Donald Trump really is. If you look at the Republic for what it stands, Donald Trump represents America in the face of the rest of the world. I don't like what I see. I know that facing problems, confronting problems, that's been a pattern for me. I couldn't avoid many of the problems I faced. I've faced all, well, not all. Praise God.
Someone's quacking.
Yeah, I'm not sure where.
Someone's audio is what I'm speaking about. It's coming through strong.
I think it might be corrected. But I lost where I was. Anyway, welcome, Isaac.
So, Jack, I think this is actually good, though. You clarified your stance on secrets and privacy. You said you don't give a shit. I hadn't heard that from you before. Maybe you said it in other shows, but then I wasn't here. But like Mike Obama, a lot of people think that's a dude that was the first.
Again,
you don't care, right?
I've seen evidence and caused me to wonder for a moment, but I really don't care. What I care about is there is a criminal enterprise that is being defended by willing participants in the United States government. And I would like to expose that obvious, it's not obvious conspiracy. It's not a theory. It's blatantly obvious. The signs can no longer be denied. We are the solution that our ancestors have been praying for. We are that who we have been praying for. Every answer we need is here and now. Are we willing to accept the answers here and now?
Yeah. Well, we're about solutions. That's what the show's about. What is your solution?
The solution is I can't do it on my own, but I do believe that there's got to be friendly ears in some positions of, we'll say, wealth or authority, right? Human beings who have access to resources that might be helpful for the goal. I mean, the goal is, how do we confront peacefully the men and women serving in Congress? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and rulers in high places. These are the laws and the rules that everyone has found to be so fucking important that we live in fear and anger and shame and guilt. It's craziness.
I
Jump
fear.
in.
I fear that you could potentially compromise yourself and potential by insisting upon fixing evil. I mean, at some point, can you just like, if you got a better idea, build it, and they will come, sort of thing, you know? So I think that's where, you know, our responsibility, technically, I would say the government that you're advocating for acting right is technically a foreign occupation. So, you know, just
Kevin
separating
Costner.
yourself. Sorry?
Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. That's where you got that from, the Field of Dreams movie.
I didn't watch
he built
movies.
the base.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, well, he built the baseball field. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get the concept, and I've met a lot of people who are on that path. They're committed to that idea that that's the only way. But in my life, something I learned a long time ago, I wasted a lot of time and energy trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to accomplish what others were doing real easy, real simple. I just didn't know how to do it, and I had to figure it all out myself, over and over and over, especially as a union guy. And I was like, this is ridiculous. There's got to be an easier way, and there is when we work together. And so the idea of going off to recreate what is already there, I'd rather take what is, overcome the flaws, and let's grow the good. There's an untapped potential in the freedom of America that mankind has not yet explored.
North America or South America or the United States government. I mean, these words have meaning and you're convoluting the terms. So I think, you know, I think that's important to recognize that
when we look at what's okay, you know, we look at what's okay in our to teach our kids.
I'll let you
the music.
Your perspective. I'm just going to finish my sentence if you don't mind.
One at a time, guys, please.
Yeah, I get a thought and it wants to.
But we can practice, please.
Yeah, I just think that it's important to recognize that, you know, the things aren't always as they seem, or what, you know, it's okay to be wrong. Like that. Now I lost my train of thought and I'm trying to recover. So I digress, but yeah, go ahead. I'll get back in.
Yeah, I don't know. It just sparked one little thing that was like the stuff that we are like when we're younger, we're more moldable. We're full, like we're like, what's that word? Shapeable, more so in our ways.
Malleable.
Malleable. That's what I'm looking for. Yes, thank you. So I think I know it sounds dramatic, but like if you look at the media, the movies, the news, and like how like intense and like I don't know, the media is very powerful, right? And like if they're teaching our kids these things through the music and through the movies and stuff, that like they shouldn't even be seeing. It's like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, should we even have that stuff accessible to anyone?
Yeah, but what
Is it
makes it
poisoning our
powerful
minds?
is
Like horror movies, for example. Like, I remember
what
my
makes it
friends would get
powerful. What
terrified
makes
watching
it
them.
powerful is you give it the attention
Yeah,
that
maybe.
they want you to give it. So you're giving them their power, you know,
Yeah, but they
instead of
make it and try to influence people with that. I'm just saying we'd have to
yeah,
almost like
sure.
rewrite how
Don't you
we do
try?
our music,
Aren't you
how
trying
our
to
media.
influence people?
We're getting a bit off track.
I'm
You're
just
talking
thinking.
over each other. Jack's
Yeah, no,
not
Well,
sorry,
stuff.
I can do it.
hey,
I'm
hey,
ADD. Like,
yeah.
Isaac, you took us way off in your minds again.
okay, I'll take a step back and I'll listen. I'm sorry. I just thought that was connected from what I had on my angle. My bad.
No, I get what you're saying. Yes, all those things can be changed. We can change the media, we can change the education system, we can change our agriculture, our industry, we can change anything we want to if we find the willingness and we create the opportunity. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I
Go
just
ahead.
think you can't. I just think you can't force people to change. You can just do better and give them the option to make better choices because they'll see you, you know, getting a result that they wish to achieve, and they'll be like, "All right, let's join this. Let's get on board."
Mitch, that's literally what I've been trying to do for several years on my own. And I honestly thought, you know, the activity last Friday with the other veterans, I wasn't alone, so there was an opportunity for me to be a part of something. And so I honestly thought that would help, you know, kind of Jack grow towards the goal. Because you're right. Right now, why should Donald Trump or anyone else listen to me? I don't have anyone standing up to them saying, hey, you should check this guy out. You should give him a chance and see what he's got to say. That didn't happen with my son. It didn't happen with the pastor. It didn't happen with my union reps. It didn't happen with my neighbors.
Jack,
So,
do you think that, sorry for interrupting, I'm sorry. Do you think that Don Lemon would do a sit down interview with you with these ideas? Do you think that would be a possibility? Because that would be much better than you would have your thoughts collected and it would be either a sit down or a video interview. I think that would be a great idea to get more exposure.
yeah.
So maybe contacting Don Lemon, you seem to have a good rapport with him during that. I think he might be open to that.
I did. Your suggestion was that I follow up. I did.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that.
I do everything on my own. Yeah. And I'm encouraging and inviting any others who might want to see Don and I talk. Please reach out to him and his producers. Make a recommendation. You can mention
Is
Jack.
Hank helping you out at all with
Who?
emails? Is Hank? Isn't he? Hank he said he helped you out. I don't know if he sent emails or something as a secretary, but maybe Hank was lying to me. He might have made it up, trolled me, but okay.
It doesn't matter.
Isaac, would you be willing to help out Jack with emails and things like that?
What about
You're
you,
a young guy.
Stephen, what about you?
I don't have a huge voice. I would do.
I'm not really great at
I don't even know
emails,
how I'd
Jack.
go about it.
But I would help you out if you wanted it. I would email
I do.
Don Lemon.
Well,
I'll email him.
I humbly invite and ask for anyone who's willing to help me achieve my goals. I have many. Some goals are personal with my family. Some goals are professional with my unresolved past. Some goals are professional with my future. Some goals are just politically and activist type motivated, right? Wanting to make a difference. And some goals are just to try and help anyone who wants to try and improve their own life. So anyone who wants to, go ahead, please.
I don't want this to seem disrespectful coming from me because I'm an atheist. And maybe you already are. I don't know. And I mean this genuinely. But have you considered just asking God to step in?
Do you really think I have not? Do you really think I need to answer that?
There's no need to be disrespectful. I just said I don't know. I said maybe you already have. I don't know.
Right. And I want you to consider for yourself. Why would you even need to ask that? Could it be that you're so far from any relationship with God that you lack even that simplest understanding of what a healthy relationship is?
Well, I don't know what you are talking about with God, and it could be that God maybe, because you said you had a vision from God that you have a purpose here. So maybe you're so convinced by your vision that you haven't asked God. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, do you want to know? You haven't asked about specific thoughts and the vision. Let me not, when I say a vision, it's my mind's imagination. Okay? I can imagine all the variables coming together. I can see how the pieces could fit. I could see how everything can work out and we can succeed. And I am convinced that the world is the way that it is because of a lack of respect for what is true. Now, what is true is our governments and our corporate and our banking systems are corrupt. Until those problems are addressed, suffering and inequality, it's going to continue to grow because that's the natural law. That which is brought forth will grow, especially when it receives support and attention from people. So let's confront the problem together. I know, guys, I know how it can sound unbelievable, but holy crap. At what point is someone willing to say, all right, let's see what we can do?
Yeah. Can we work with atheists if they don't have any trust and faith in God?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. I can work with anyone.
Yeah, I wanted to point out also that I'm not detached from knowing God at all. I just don't believe that God exists. I was a Christian for almost 30 years, and I'm
you quit
extremely
on God?
familiar.
Did you
exactly.
quit? Okay.
Yes.
You never quit on me.
That's right.
Well, I would love to believe that.
You never quit on me.
Belief?
Yeah, I keep an open mind for it, and I still pray, and I still try to serve the world in a Christian way the best that I can, and I even take the time to talk to Christians regularly to try to reinvigorate my beliefs, but that's the best I can do.
But, Andy, this stream, my frustration with you is you wanted me to receive your doubts. You wouldn't accept any of my faith.
What do you mean? What do you mean accept? What do you mean by accept?
You're not showing a lot of acceptance or willingness to entertain success in the ideas that I have faith in. And I've been offering and trying to share faith. The way I found faith is by doing what you're saying you're doing, opening my mind, paying attention to what each day brought forth, because today is a new day. You can allow your beliefs and your relationship to change with the simple idea of a thought.
If there's a possibility that my beliefs will change, then it will happen, because I do everything I can to try to reinvigorate those beliefs. I promise you. I work very hard at it.
I heard something. I trust you and I believe you. But it's that part of you that's trying that's in the way.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say already. That I need to just do it. Not try, do it.
It's not even a doing. It's an accepting. It's accepting that, like Isaac said, you found reason and it was your path. It was your path. No judgment, nothing wrong with anything that happened, but your path, you chose to walk away from God. God never left you.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think that me walking away from God was just the result of me becoming unconvinced that God exists. I didn't want to walk away from God.
Okay. Well, Andy,
not willingly though. Not willingly. I never chose to.
Politely, with you a lesson God has shown me.
Mhm.
Truth need not prove itself. Truth stands on its own. Now, the truth is so solid, so powerful, it can stand with false representations, false perceptions, just as well as it can stand with its true reflection. The truth is glorious, and God is glorious, for God is that which allows the truth to become thought of, considered, entered into our being. God is that which brings forth everything.
I wanted to point out, you said that truth needs
Glorious.
no proving, but in the Bible, God repeatedly proves himself to non-believers, like 20
Yeah.
times.
Glorious.
And yet you still don't believe.
Yeah, well, it didn't work on you, Andy. I mean,
Well, no,
Okay, I got
that's
one
just it.
comment.
Like God proves himself via miracles in the Bible. God's never given me a miracle. That's what I mean.
okay.
Again, you might want to humble yourself and realize
Mm-hmm.
maybe you overlooked some small miracles that allow you to have health, comfort, safety, prosperity. You think you're doing good. There's small
Yeah,
miracles that add up, and they're easily overlooked, dude.
yeah. The
Just
miracles
being
that
here.
the miracles that God proved himself with in the Bible were not small by any means.
All right, tell you
Andy,
what.
you're still breathing.
It's
That's a
fine, yeah.
miracle, right?
And here's where we're at, guys, with respect and patience. Andy, your doubts are yours. Uh, I'm willing to help you overcome them if you want to overcome them, but
Yeah.
I'm not
You know,
saying
If you had some words for me, like I'm listening. I told you I keep an open mind and I mean it.
well, you say that, but you've not considered what I've said.
What are you trying to say? Rephrase it for me, because I'm genuinely listening.
There's an inner doubt within you.
Yeah.
That doubt is not you, and that doubt is not God's. That doubt can be set free. And when you remove the doubt is removed when we know, right? So
Yep.
what prevents you from knowing that there's powers and intelligence far greater than you that's offered you the life that you get to know today? Because the past
Evidence.
is nothing. It's not here. The only day, the only moment that matters is now, today.
Yeah.
So
What's stopping me is the lack of evidence for the claim. The
what
claim
would you
itself
like? Okay, say that. Okay, so the only way, if I'm hearing you right, I'm repeating it back so you can hear what I'm hearing.
Mhm.
You're saying the only way that you can accept God back into your life in a mental and physical relation, or a mental and emotional relationship, is what I'm specifically talking about. The only way
No.
you can have a mental and emotional relationship with God again is if miracles are shown to you.
Evidence, not necessarily miracles. It doesn't have to be a miracle, but something convincing, I would say.
You're in denial about needing to be convinced. Do you
What do you
want to
mean?
know, or do you want to stay in doubt? It's up to you.
Can I
I want
mediate
to
this
know.
conversation a little bit?
You might be
I,
very helpful, please.
I just want to add a perspective. I think Andy's doubt in God comes from other men who claim to know who and what God is, trying to teach him, and by way of sharing their perspective of God. And I'd say everyone has a different perspective in this great realm that we live in. So that's an impossibility for another man to see God as any other man does. And so I think the ultimate solution to this would be for him to not think that he knows God or whatever, or try to prove or disprove God, but just experience it. There's things in this world that are really beyond our explanation, and I think that is God, from my perspective. So That's just me.
Andy's lacking faith. Faith isn't about knowing, it's about having faith. It's not about knowing. It's about having faith, like blind faith in God. I posted a little thing out of the Bible to help out Jack. Have faith in God. It's about faith. And I think that's what Andy's lacking is faith.
You're absolutely right. I don't have faith, but faith for me would require belief first. I can't just have faith in something I don't believe. You know what I mean? Well, hold on. Just let me give you an example. Right now, if I was to say have faith that a unicorn is standing outside of your bedroom, can you do that? Can you do that?
Andy,
that's what it's like for me. That's what it's like for me.
Andy, and if you allow yourself to open your mind like you say you want to do, you've got to accept responsibility for the rules you choose to live by. You've set those demands upon God to prove itself to you. Now, I used to do the same. I lived in doubt. I couldn't see. This is why I'm praying people can accept and learn from my testimony. I was blind consciously. I was subconscious, spiritually dead. Today, I think I can change the world if given a chance. There's got to be something said about that, Andy.
Yeah.
So maybe I can bridge the gap.
Oh, go ahead.
Because everybody here knows, I guess except for you, that I'm not a faithful person. I'm not religious, but I do believe in people when I see good things. And I got to say, coming out of my hibernation for a couple of weeks, Jack, you killed it. So I don't think you need faith in God. If you can see somebody doing what looks to me to be crazy, I still think Jack's goal is a crazy one, 1,000%. And I still disagree with Jack on just about 99% of things, policy things. But you found your sweet spot as a kind of a spokesman and being media ready. So props to you for that. I got more faith in that than I do in,
Dusty, thank you sincerely. I do appreciate that. This experience has prepared me, but I mentioned it in the stream the other day. I did a disservice to some of the people from the organizers who were prepared. They'd given solid thought to the right answers for the organized effort. They in the Lemon interview, they did it. I think the Ranger guy was one of those, right? The guy
interviewing you?
No, the guy who spoke before me.
Okay, I only saw your part.
The guy interviewing me, I didn't see him at anywhere except when I got to the Capitol. But
and I know that there's some other people I talked to. If you saw my stream the other day, there were some mixed feelings about you representing that organization, but I'm not a veteran, so I stay all the way out of veteran stuff. And I don't know. You were the right man in the spot, and you were ready for that moment, I think. And you're batshit crazy, but whatever. You're batshit crazy your way uphill, I think so.
That's the key. That's what I realized. I am kind of batshit crazy, but a lot of the choices I've made that look batshit crazy, I got comfortable with those stupid choices because I'd had to do some crazy choices. I didn't see any other options. So I've learned how to roll with that, and that was a gifted opportunity. Like I had said, my plan was to be on the steps and to go through the process of, going through the detention and stuff, but that wasn't in the cards, I guess. And then all of a sudden there's an opportunity. But now, seriously, what's that?
Have you looked for organizations where maybe they could put you in an official spokesman role instead of you just usurping authority?
That's exactly why I reached out to the leadership of Veterans for Peace, Code Pink, World Beyond Wars. That's exactly why I reached out, was to offer myself.
Well, and I've been out of the loop for 2 weeks, so if I'm out of the loop and ask a stupid question, don't be offended by it.
You're fine. I appreciate it. there's something mysterious going on. And Dusty, you're a part of this journey, right? You've been a fun part as well as many others. And I think the universe is doing something pretty amazing, maybe even the unbelievable. The unbelievable being, where'd it go? that unbelievable is possible, and we can have that smiling face once peace has been achieved.
Well, you're closer than I ever thought you'd get.
I have not.
Which was the edge of Spokane, if you're wondering. 6 months ago, I thought the furthest you would get is the edge of Spokane, because that's the furthest that.
Wow. See, underestimated me. I've been telling people. I've been trying to caution people. Try not.
I haven't been doing that. In all fairness, I haven't been doing that.
I know. You've been pretty good. There's been a few times where you won't budge, and
likewise.
Yep. But it's coming together. And now here's the question, though. I'm inviting you because you're a creative mind. You know how to market. You know how to build upon things. I've gone down in subscribers since then. I'd really like to start growing. And I would love to try and use that as an opportunity to maybe get invited to other conversations. Because I do think if given the chance, I can do a pretty decent job.
Well, I don't know.
Well, if any ideas emerge, please.
I'm in the same boat. My second channel is still less than half of what my original one was, and I got all my subscribers by going out and pulling them back one at a time and going into the different people's panels. And I'm telling you, the true crime community. I am not a true crime creator.
You're breaking up.
You're
breaking up, brother. You started roboting and breaking, but I've seen you hustling. You've been working. Hey, I'm going to start wrapping things up, though. Thank you for joining. And final words, guys?
Nope. God bless. Take care. Love you guys.
Thank you, Andy. I much respect and appreciation, sincerely. I do appreciate you joining and being honest and open and putting up with my rough edge too. But I'm telling you.
Also, I wanted to say real quick, I think that I have extremely good reasons for doubting the God of the Bible. And if you'd ever like to talk to me about those reasons, I'd be happy to go deep into detail about them. Because it's not just like off of a whim or just like because I have doubts. I was led to believe that by evidence, and the evidence is very strong.
I've got my doubts, my parts I don't fully comprehend or really understand. I don't need any more doubts. I'm offering you more faith.
Yeah, well, I mean, just so you understand where I'm coming from, and I attempt faith, but I think that faith, in my opinion, faith is the equivalent to trust. To trust God, and I don't choose what I trust. You know what I mean? Trust is based on how convinced. Like I can't choose to trust that somebody is going to have my life in good hands or something. I need to know that there's that person truly is good at saving lives or whatever. Like there's got to be reasons for me to trust, and I don't see any good reasons for me to trust.
All right,
that's all it is.
Right, and you're not looking for good reasons to trust. You're trying to share your doubts with me, but eventually you'll learn that I am a man you can trust, and when you trust me, you'll maybe see that the faith you've been seeking is being shown right in front of your eyes. All you got to do is see what's here.
Give me a good reason to trust you, and I will.
Stop. I tell you what, if you can't find one yet, God bless you, Andy. Thank you for joining. Sincerely, I appreciate you. Trust is available. Faith is available. The only thing that denies faith or denies trust is a devious, confused, corrupted mind. And I used to suffer with that. I lived most of my life with distrust, a lot of excuses, limitations, a lot of fear and doubts. Well, by God's grace, I've said this clearly. By God's grace, I found opportunities to grow in my faith. Okay, because I used to live a pretty comfortable, routine life. Well, maybe Andy or others, maybe others, I don't want to assume, and I certainly don't want to assume, especially regarding a lack of faith. How interesting. Because where my thought went is that lack of faith was probably came through some pretty tough challenges. Recognizing my strength, my ability to push through, to overcome challenges, temporary pains, temporary inconvenience, temporary sacrifice, my seeing myself achieve things that I didn't think I could do. My faith is strong. See, I've been learning a lot of ways not to succeed. Found a lot of ways to fail. But with every failure, I pick up little gems, little wisdoms, little subtle techniques for me to improve, for me to grow. Brothers and sisters, I love that you are here, and I love that we are here. I hope you can find some love for you. That is, if you'll accept it, the title today, what is your solution? Let's discuss life, growth, and solutions. The key to growth, I'll remind you, I said it earlier, the key to growth, let expansion be your guide. When you find a question, just don't jump to the answer. Don't just jump to the conclusion. Allow yourself to wonder a little bit. And in that pause, in that wonder, what is this choice going to bring? A greater life or the old life? And what do you want in that particular area? So if you allow expansion to be your goal, your guide, then success and growth become your norm. And as success and growth become your norm, your solution is obvious. You always were your solution. You always were your problem. There's no problems in the world around you except those you believe in, those you give power to. I encourage you, practice yourself, challenge yourself. These are things I practice for me. I consciously pay attention. I do not will power to problems. I align me with God, with the solutions, with the giver of life, with all that ever was, all that ever is, and all that ever will be. Think about that, and you'll realize it is now. Brothers and sisters, I am going to wrap it up here. Sincerely thank everyone who joined, whether live or later. And if you haven't yet, please, there's something magical happening in this world, and my prayer is to be a part of it. I want a world where we all live without fear, where love guides us into a greater and greater and a greater world for us all. So please invite others, let others know, and we'll see what happens in the future. Till next time, thank you. Oh yeah, and we are set to forward over to our friend OTW. I believe he's already going. So till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Peace.